Survivor Series Wargames just around the corner, I think it is now the right time to do some predictions. And as usual in these predictions videos, we go over everything that will be on this match card of WWE, I give my thoughts, and obviously, as it sounds, I give my prediction on who is to win that match, and I give, obviously, my valid reasons why. But as always, you guys can leave me your thoughts and just debate my predictions down in the comments below. And as always, before we get anywhere into any video, be sure you help your boy out, subscribe to the channel, turn on post notifications, like the video, go down in the comments, like I said, leave all your thoughts, helps me a ton, go follow the socials, links to those will be in the description of this video. That includes my Instagram account, my X account, so all that helps me a ton. Now let's get you guys straight into today's predictions. Alright, so we will start it off with John Cena versus Dominic Mysterio for the Intercontinental Championship. As usual, obviously, John Cena is going in as the champion here. Now, I think this one, from my personal perspective, is very obvious, just because of the whole scenario that we are in, and just the reality that we are living in the WWE, and the whole thing with John Cena going on right now. Obviously, what's going on for John Cena, the Last Time Is Now tournament is happening. What is the whole goal behind this? It's to pretty much pass the torch. It's literally for John Cena to have one final match with a great superstar who wins, obviously, the Last Time Is Now tournament, and obviously if they win that, they're obviously going to take I'm thinking that they're going to take this Intercontinental title off of John Cena. So for that to happen, you have to have John Cena proceed and win at Survivor Series Wargames. So I think personally, John Cena is easily going to win this one. I don't think there's any chance that Dominic Mysterio does have here. If he does retain, that's a bit weird, because why would you have John Cena win just to lose? Now I get it makes sense, because yeah, it was to make him a Grand Slam champion, but at the same time, it's kind of like, you know, maybe there wasn't a point for that, you know? But I think easily, I think WWE is obviously going to go with John Cena retaining here, and he's going to inevitably go on to his final match, probably lose there, and then that's when he drops his title. But that's why I think he's obviously going to keep the title, is to pass it on to somebody else. Kind of that, like I said, that little passing of the torch, passing of power, passing of greatness type of thing. So, in my opinion, I think this one's very easy. I don't think there's really any doubts in my mind that John Cena is to lose, and I have all the doubts in the world that Dominic Mysterio will lose this one. So, therefore, my final prediction here, it is going to be John Cena walking out still your Intercontinental Champion. All right, next up, we do move into Stephanie Vaquer going in as the Women's World Champion and defending against a heel, Nikki Bella. And this one, again, I think this one is also very obvious. There's just no way to my mind that Nikki Bella picks up the win. I just do not see WWE really dropping this title off of Stephanie, man. And one reason I say that, and really the main reason I say that, is honestly, well, from what we've seen from Stephanie and what we've seen by her booking, it really seems like WWE sees potential in her, and obviously the entire WWE universe as well sees that, including myself. And like I said, probably most of you guys watching obviously see potential in Stephanie, but most importantly WWE. So therefore, and I mean, if you think about it, she's like pretty much just now came to the main roster. She hasn't even been on the main roster for a full year. She's already champion. So therefore, I really do not think that they're going to drop it off of her this quickly. They're going to continue to elevate Stephanie. There's no, like, if they really have Stephanie lose here, I think that completely loses Stephanie's momentum. It loses everything that she's built upon just the past few months, and it's really going to kind of be like, okay, really, what was the point of that? Because if we think about it, Naomi got injured, and obviously she cashed in her Money in the Bank to win the title, and then after she got injured, who won it next was Stephanie Vaquer. So clearly, there's already, you know, seeing as that is the way that it is, you know, it clearly seems that Stephanie Vaquer is one of the top women. She's like at least number 2, because she was the second option, or she was the first option after Naomi to win this title. So therefore, I just think my main argument here as to why I think Stephanie is to win this one, it's just because of the reputation she's built in the main roster already, the way WWE just books her, and I just cannot see WWE really dropping this to Nikki Bella right now. Like, and I mean, I say right now, you know, maybe they do drop it to Nikki Bella at some point, but I just don't think that time is now. I don't think it's Nikki Bella's time. I think she's going to have to wait a little bit if she does manage to get this title, but I do genuinely don't think they're going to have Nikki win this. They're going to, like I said, they're mainly going to just continue to elevate Stephanie, continue to have her rise above the ranks, just continue to overcome, challenges and just become more of a just even better superstar in WWE. So that's what they're going to do with Stephanie. So my final argument here and my final prediction, it's going to be Stephanie. I just really don't see a future or a current future, I just don't see that current time for Nikki to really take this title just yet. Alright, now we will get into the bigger matches of the night, and then we will start it off with the women's Wargames match, and that does take place with, on one side, we do have Io Sky versus and Rhea Ripley and AJ Lee and Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss, and on the opposing side, we will have Lash Legend and Nia Jax and Becky Lynch and the Kabuki Warriors. So, who is to win this match, man? I'm gonna be honest, I really don't have a strong claim as to who or why I think they're going to win. I genuinely don't, so I'm really just going to have to think of something right here, right now on the spot. Now, what I really got to think here, man, because I feel like it can technically go both ways, you know. There's this one side where we have the heels, which is obviously Becky's side, and you kind of want to continue to elevate them, man. I mean, one of the newly heel tag teams two of the newly heel tag teams actually are literally on one team. That obviously being Nia Jax and Lash Legend, and as well as the Kabuki Warriors, who are currently tag team champions. So for that reason, there could be like, okay, maybe you don't want them to lose because you want to keep showcasing them as better stars and just better, just pretty much better stars, better heels in general. So there's that side, and then there's also the other side where there's like, okay, on the other team, on the faces, you have people like Io Sky and Rhea Ripley. When they're in matches, they tend to win most of them, man. They really don't tend to lose a lot of those matches that they're in, you know? So to me, it's really hard to decide here, but I feel like I'm just going to pick, man, who do I go with here? I'm just going to say the heels, man. I'm going to go with the heels here. I feel like it's probably going to be the faces just because you have stars like Rhea and Io on the other side, but I'm going to go with the heels here because I just feel like you kind of like, you like I mentioned, you just kind of want to keep elevating them. And I mean, there's that argument yet that the fact that Becky Lynch is on that team, and it seems as WWE is kind of like making Becky Lynch, you know, this is kind of her downfall of her heel run as it's seeming like. I mean, she's lost her title, she's getting attacked by AJ Lee again, so there's kind of that side of it as well, where it's like, you know, maybe you just don't want them to win because you want to continue that whole thing with AJ Lee, you know, but I think I'm just gonna go with the heels here, man. There's just I just feel like they just want to continue to elevate the other heels that are on this team, include most notably the tag teams, like I said, Nia Jax and Lash Legend, as well as the Kabuki Warriors, man. So that's really my main argument here. I really don't have a strong one. I really don't. In fact, we haven't even seen the advantage match from these women yet. I believe it's going to happen on Friday Night SmackDown, of course, because that's obviously the show before War Games. So I really don't have a major argument as to who's going to win here, so I kind of just had to come up with something on the fly. So yeah, my final prediction is probably going to be the heels, but I could definitely see it going up to the faces, you know? I really could. I could definitely see that happening. Alright, now for the final match that is currently announced, it is obviously going to be the men's War Games. On one side, we will have Jimmy Uso, CM Punk, Cody Rhodes, Roman Reigns, and Jey Uso. On the other side, where the heels are, we will have Drew McIntyre, Bronson Reed, Brock freaking Lesnar, Braun Breaker, and Logan Paul, along with Paul Heyman, but Paul Heyman obviously being the manager there. So who is to win this one? I kind of have like the same argument as I did with the women's, but I have kind of like more of a claim. And for here, I think I'm going to go with the faces. So I'm going to go with the side of Cody Rhodes. And I do say Cody Rhodes team. Well, I have two reasons. One of the main ones, and we're just going to knock that one right out of the way. Well, your top champions are on that team, brother. I feel like you can't have them lose here. I mean, dude, you got Cody Rhodes and CM Punk. Those are your two top champions. I feel like if you have them lose here, it's kind of going to be like, okay, they're clearly weak and they need to probably lose those titles type of thing. That's kind of just me, because I mean, if you're having two of your top champions on one team, they're kind of going to be the leaders of that team. So having that team lose is kind of really going to like drag them down, if you really know what I'm saying. So I feel like that, I mean, it's just going to make them lose momentum. So I feel like you have to have them win to continue to boost momentum, continue to boost power among them, and just continue to boost overall reputation among them. And my other argument for picking the faces here on Cody Rhodes' team is, well, if we remember back from this previous episode of Raw, what Roman had said. He said he's pretty much here in this match to see what he's created through, and what he's created is obviously the Usos, you know, kind of like he's there to see like what he's invested in, which is the Usos, and he's invested in that the past few years, you know, throughout the whole Bloodline saga and all that kind of stuff. So he's here to really see that through. He's really here to analyze that stuff. So, I mean, for that reason as well, I feel like to really capitalize on that, maybe you want to have this team win, so Roman Reigns' investment kind of pays off type of thing. I feel like that's kind of like my other argument there, just kind of going along with, like I said, what Roman said. And I feel like so that's kind of just my other argument. You want to kind of just capitalize on that, have really like have Roman Reigns' investment pay off, have it like and we get to see like the full potential of the Usos type of thing. I mean, that's kind of just what I'm getting at there. You could, but like I said, I mean, I kind of have like the same analytics of the just like the other just like the women's war games. It's kind of like, dude, this one can really go either way as well, because I mean, if we also think like on the faces side, I mean, on this past episode of Raw, I mean, on Cody Rhodes' team, they were kind of like having a back and forth between like Cody, Punk, and Roman. I mean, they were kind of like having a little bit of argument there, so maybe that's showing weaknesses in their team, so therefore they might lose. There's really all that kind of thing there. And then also just looking at the heel side, which is Brock Lesnar's team, of course, I mean, that's like the vision. That's who like the future is. And like you have like really like top guys over there. I mean, you have the same on the faces as well. So the point is, man, this match can really go any way, dude. I really don't have a like. I mean, I have a stronger argument than I did with the women's one for sure. But I still can see this going either way. But I will have to go with the faces here. But yeah, my final like thoughts here. It can go either way. It really can. I mean, I could see the heels winning. I could see the faces winning. There's multiple ways it could go, but for this prediction video, I think I'm going to go with the faces here. Alright everybody, well that is going to wrap up today's video. As always, I do hope you guys did enjoy, and like I said, be sure to leave me your predictions or debate my predictions down in the comments below. It always helps me, give me feedback, and I can kind of evaluate on your guys' thoughts as well. So, helps me a ton by doing that, and you guys get to, leave your thoughts. So why wouldn't you want to do that? And I do read all the comments, so feel free to do that down in the comments below. As always though, hope you guys did enjoy, and if you did, subscribe to the channel, turn on post notifications so you don't miss an upload. Go follow the socials, links to those will be in the description of this video. That includes my Instagram account, my X account. Do all that helps me a ton, and I will catch y'all boys in the next one. Peace.